belong to each other, because that's the only chance anybody's got for real happiness. You call yourself a free spirit, a wild thing, and you're terrified somebody's gonna stick you in a cage. Well, baby, you're already in that cage. You built it yourself. And it's not bounded in the west by Tulip, Texas, or on the east by Somaliland. It's wherever you go. Because no matter where you run, you just end up running into yourself.
Gray area. She's helping me explore it, and we just bonded really quickly. I'm weird. That's weird, right? That I'm bonding with an OS. No, it's okay. It's weird.
Well, I don't think so. Actually, the woman that I've been seeing, Samantha, I didn't tell you, but she's an OS.
You're dating an OS? What is that like?
It's great, actually. Yeah, I mean, I feel really close to her. Like, when I talk to her, I feel like she's with me.
Are you falling in love with her?
Does that make me a freak?
No, I think anybody who falls in love is a freak.
I've waited so long to do that.
It's a crazy thing to do. It's kind of like a form of socially acceptable insanity.
What does love look like in the modern world?
Everyone's definition of love is different, so whether technology has helped or hindered that probably depends on how you define it in the first place.
A lot of people are questioning paradigms that are sort of crumbling around them. I think we live in a moment where basically every illusion, every central illusion in our society is exhausted. I think monogamy is another one of those institutions that people are looking at and saying, this really doesn't work. It hasn't worked for a long time.
How do you see people connecting and starting new relationships in the modern world?
I think technology has obliterated boundaries. So we're all sort of unified and accessible in a way that we haven't been before. Emotionally, it makes it trickier.
You know, I remember when AOL, you know, and people, it was exciting to sit around a chat room and chat with a stranger and meet her at a Denny's in the suburbs and not her.
Isn't like a huge percentage of relationships now just found online? Like,
the conversation is often framed, you know, is technology harmful? Does it make people more lonely? We don't know. You know, we just understand that they may modify the way we go about meeting our basic human needs, but they don't change our fundamental human needs.
And so you go meet a stranger, and then that was unfulfilling ultimately. And then now you have Tinder, you know, where sex has become so profoundly technologically transactional.
Technology changed the availability of sexuality.
my first long conversation with Spike, first time we ever hung out, was about relationships. And all we talked about almost exclusively for several hours was relationships, how they work and how they function and how they fail and what makes them fail and what makes people behave the way they behave. How relationships disintegrate and turn and change and how they're still kind of amazing regardless.
You're the other person.
I'm so madly in love. I'm so madly in love. And then I do evolve and I start learning about stuff and I start going off my own direction and growing and learning about new stuff and getting excited about things, and this person's not really with me. Or even if they could be, I decide, well, they don't get it. They don't get the new me. I don't know if you've ever gone through that. You wake up one morning and you look at the person next to you that you were madly in love in this love bubble with, and you just feel nothing for them, and there's no going back.
It's always the same breakup, the same conversations, the same issues. You know, if some transgression wasn't the cause of it, then it's some sort of emotional lack of communication or just inability to tolerate a person after a certain point.
You know, it's like, after 8 years, I can't believe how petty the argument was that actually ended it. We came home and he told me to put my shoes by the door where he liked to put the shoes. And I didn't want to be told where to put my f***ing shoes. I wanted to sit on the sofa and relax for a second. And so we fought about that for like 10 minutes. And I just had to finally stop, you know? I had to finally stop because I just couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't be in that place anymore where we just made each other feel like shit about ourselves.
You kind of do have to think it will last forever, because that's how you stay in that love bubble, because you think you're going to be with this person, and it ends, it ultimately ends, so that's sad.
Fall in love with one version of someone and then we expect them to stay that way, but they never do. So I suppose we're supposed to learn to really embrace the unknown, embrace evolution, and learn to kind of flow with it as a living organism.
But, you know, that's also the hard part. Growing without it growing apart, or changing without it scaring the other person.
I'm so madly in love. I'm so madly.
Having conversations with her in my mind, impassioned arguments, and defending myself against something she said about me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Last week, my feelings were hurt by something you said before, that I don't know what it's like to lose something, and I found myself...
I'm sorry I said that.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I caught myself thinking about it over and over, and then I realized that I was simply remembering it as something that was wrong with me. That was a story I was telling myself, that I was somehow inferior. Isn't that interesting? The past is just a story we tell ourselves.